Coach Lester, coming off a big win at home against Kent State this past Wednesday, makes your team bowl eligible for the 4th consecutive year. Just talk about that for the program.
It was an exciting time for those guys. I mean, this senior class, first one ever to qualify at least 4 times in a row, and it was the day really belonged to those seniors. I built it up all week, and it's a special day, and they, I think they played great, and the winningest class in the history of Western Michigan football, and for us it was just the next step into getting ourselves in a position to compete, and they did that. But I was proud of the way they played individually. Each senior, I thought, played a really good game and made an impact on the game, and I was proud of the way they fought.
When the season gets to be this late, you tend to find little things that jolt you. Ohio beating Toledo, what kind of jolt did that give your team?
That helped. You know what I mean? We knew we needed help to get back into it, and obviously that puts us in a way better position. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different scenarios, and I don't even know them all because right now our scenarios, we got to play Northern in a couple days. So, but I know that if we control our having a chance to have a share of the MAC West championship, and you fight hard. You have a transition year. You have a year of injuries, and you're staring down 2 games to have a chance. And that's really where you want to be. So it's I know they're happy. We still feel like we're getting better. We're still kind of figuring out who we are. They're getting used to me. I'm getting used to them, and we're building more and more trust every time we spend time together. So I really enjoy taking the field with this team. I think we're close, and that's going to be fun on Wednesday night against a really good team. To have that challenge. So I'm excited about it.
Just talk a little bit more about him. I scouted him Thursday night against Ball State, and it was pretty ugly. But they've had some quarterback issues themselves. In fact, one of the quarterbacks I know went to your high school.
Ryan, yeah.
Played with Corey and friends with Corey.
Yep.
But can you talk about what they bring and going to DeKalb? I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Been there, yeah. It's about 30 minutes away from hometown. The thing about this team that we're going to play is I think they play harder than just about any team I've seen play. They have tons of talent, don't get me wrong. Offensively, they run the ball. Their offensive coordinator does I know him well. He does a great job of keeping you on with shifts and motions and just trying to add a gap on you. They lost Ryan Graham to injury. They played the backup who wasn't playing well, so they played the redshirt freshman, who I think is doing a good job. I mean, he's getting better every single week, and now Ryan Graham's back, so now they kind of have a 2-headed monster, And I think that much like we try to do, they run the ball, they play phenomenal defense, and they help their quarterback out. So the young kid's been helped out by that, but he's made plays. He's done a great job. I've been very impressed with him, and defensively, they have 2 defensive ends that have no quit. They have great secondary, and they're number 1 on defense in the league. And they give up 2.8 yards per rush. No top 10 in the country in stopping the run. We're pretty good at running it. That's what we need to lean on. So it's an interesting game. It's an interesting matchup that way. And so it's going to be. There's a reason that they're number 2 in the West right now, and playing in DeKalb, it's going to be cold and windy, and I don't know if it'll be rainy. I don't know if I've ever played there where it wasn't raining. This might be the first time that I played there and it wasn't raining. And it's hard to win a road game, period. Much less in DeKalb, and they're playing really well right now. If you saw that on Thursday, so it'll be a big challenge, and I'm excited to watch our guys go out there and compete against this defense, which I think is a really good defense.
They've been very successful at special teams.
Mm-hmm. 3 punts to block 3 punts in 3 games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And they've returned a number of touchdowns.
Yep.
Or a number of interceptions, pick sixes and stuff. Anything that you can identify on tape for why they're so successful?
They do a good job of scheming up, the punt team, but it's effort. I mean, they sell out every single play they're out there, and they've always have for years and years and years now. Just been a team that every single play, as soon as you take one play off, if one player on your team takes one play off, they can get an edge on you. You know what I mean? And that's where a lot of times it shows on special teams. And I feel like we're a really solid special teams unit, but we're going to be challenged. And so I know our punt team's well aware of what they've done. with their punt block team, and obviously our offense is very well aware of their defensive pressure that they add and what they can do in their secondary. So, you have a ton of respect for a team like this, and we're ready to go out there and go toe to toe with them.
This game kind of has a playoff-like feel, obviously, with what you guys,
Yeah.
the goals you have both for you and for Northern Illinois. So a week like this, I mean, finding motivation is probably not very hard. So
Doesn't take a ton. Yeah, it's these are playoff games at this point. You know what I mean? And the last 2 weeks of the season, if you can get yourself in a position where they will control your fate. And if we want to continue to keep our goals alive, we have to find a way to win. And so the motivation has been fairly simple this week as far as, but we're still so much talking about our discipline and all the little things that we think we can get better at. And for us, we still got some moving pieces with some injuries. We're moving some people around, and guys are getting more time to get comfortable with what we're doing. I thought our defense against Kent State was really good. I mean, I really feel like they're coming along. They're starting to get comfortable with what we're doing, and just like you can ask Northern, when you have a phenomenal defense, it makes everything different. You can be in any game, anytime, anywhere, and I really think our defense is playing at a pretty good level right now.
the 15 injuries you talked about last week, is it still at that number? Are you getting any guys back?
We did last week. We got 2 back and we lost 2. So really nothing. We were lucky to get BT back, one of our safeties last week, and then he's out again. And we moved Obi Jackson from our third corner to another safety. We'd already moved Ruck over. We moved another corner over, and he got hurt in the game. He's doubtful, I'd say. I mean, he hadn't done anything all week, and he's got to get strong enough. They're not out for the season, those 2, but I don't think they'll play this week. So, so we got Rucker and Claiborne, which have done a good job back there, and young A.J. Thomas will be back there, and that's the 3 of them, So, hopefully Obi gets cleared before the game and can be just a 4th guy back there for us, So it is what it is, and once you get to this place, you just, you're going to play who you're going to play, and you're going to let them go play. And I think that offensively, it's pretty much we stayed healthy. And the O-line's done a good job, and our running backs, the 2 we got did a good job, and they're healthy, feeling good, and our receivers played better against Kent State. We got a long way to go, but I think they're getting better and getting more confident, and because we're going to need them to win in a game like this. So it'll be fun to watch.
We got our first look at Matt Falcon this past week. You could tell that he was a little rusty.
Yeah.
Can you comment on his performance?
I thought he got better as the game went on, really. He late in the game, he really looked faster. He looked more comfortable. You could tell just that edge was off of him. Early on he was trying to pick and choose and almost thinking about where he was going to go instead of reacting. He guessed right a couple times and got to run. And then later on he was way faster. He wasn't thinking. It wasn't where he got tackled for the first time and in 2.5 years, really. So I really felt like we ended up pulling him because we couldn't get him hurt, and we put other guys in. But I really felt like he was getting stronger as the game went. And if we would have gone into a 3rd and 4th quarter, I think you would have continued to see the good mix of him and Jarv. But I was happy. I was happy with him. I needed him to just get out there and get tackled a couple times and relax and play. He's had a good week of practice, and those are two big dudes, that are playing with confidence right now.
Staying with Falcon, how much does that big run help his confidence?
I think a ton. He bounced it out the front door, which is the hardest cut to see. The A gap cut and the backside C gap cut are by far the easiest cuts to see on an inside zone run. But when you're feeling it and you go out the front door, which is a rarity, it was a great read, good feel when they merged the front side end, and he popped it out the front door and gave him a bunch of junk for getting caught. I was all in his ear the whole time, and because he's faster than he looked on that play, and then he got fast. Like I said, he got faster as the game went on. So having that little bit of confidence would help him a ton, I think, and And then, once I really felt like he was getting on, it was just getting to the point where we needed to get those two out of there, and play young Davey, and from wide out to running back to scoring a touchdown in a 5-day period, was pretty impressive.
Can you talk about Reese's performance now? This will be his third start.
Third start.
He missed a couple long balls early, but he looks like he's getting more confident.
He made a couple good throws. He used his feet when we needed him to. He's got a long way to go, but I felt like he played better. I think his third deep ball was probably his best ball, best deep ball throw. I mean, he took John, I think it was game 5 before he hit his first deep one, and then once you get over that hurdle, much like Falcon, once you get over that hurdle, you don't think anymore, you just play, and so I think he's getting more and more confident every single time he gets in there, and there'll be an unbelievable pass rush this week with the guy that's number 2 in the country in sacks and another guy who's both their defensive ends get to the quarterback. Really, I think 3 of their 4 up front are in the top 10 in sacks in the league. So they're gonna put some pressure on him, and but he's just getting more and more comfortable with how to use his eyes, where to throw the ball, because he had a couple really nice ones, that he started to look like the guy we saw in camp, and so hopefully in his third start, this will be a road test for him, which would be good for him to learn, and he's got enough people around him that I think he will continue to play with confidence. He doesn't get rattled too much, as far as his demeanor goes. He didn't play very well at the first game, but he never lost his cool and started throwing stuff or hanging his head. He just kept working at it, and he's had a really good week of practice.
Go ahead.
You spent several years at Amherst College,
Mhm.
at the top of their football program. It looks like they're going to have to vacate some wins, including league championships. Were you aware of that? And what's your reaction if you have become aware of that?
I have become aware. I don't know much about it, Somebody sent me something about it happened my final year there through like last year, something in financial aid. I don't know enough to comment on it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But yeah, I heard something about it through all my ex-players talking on social media, and so they know more than I do about it. But I'll learn more, I'm sure, eventually.
Is that tough to see, knowing that you went to battle with those guys for as long as you did, to see that some of those big wins are going to be stripped from the program record book?
Could be, yeah. I mean, I feel bad for those guys when they went in there and fought, and I'd like to dig more into what it was, So we'll figure that out as I'm sure maybe it's already out. During the season, I don't read much other than NIU, and that's about it right now this week. But yeah, I'll probably dig into that more and kind of get a feel for those guys. But what they did as a group is still the best. They can strip whatever they want. I'm proud of what those guys did, but it'll be interesting as I learn more about what happened.
Coach, we're going to hear from number 39 here soon, the old guy.
The old guy.
Can you talk about, he's the oldest player in FBS right now. But what kind of special that brings to the team, and what his role?
His wisdom is off the charts. When he doesn't talk a ton as our punter, and a kickoff guy, but when he does, everyone listens. And that's what makes him special. I kind of got to feel that early on, when every time we were in leadership council and he said something, that literally everyone stopped talking and would all look at him and all sit up straight. And so they have a ton of respect for him. And for me to have a guy that's a great kickoff guy, our kickoff team's done a really good job. He holds for our young kid. When our 18-year-old kicker goes out there, we got a 30-year-old to calm him down, And then, he's number 1 in the country in punts inside the 20. He's kicked 30 punts that have been inside the 20-yard line out of only 52, and so he hasn't punted a ton, but he's got 30 of his 52 inside the 20. So, I can't fault him for having Darius Phillips on his team and starting at the 50 half the time. That he doesn't have a ton of space to get all the net punting yards because of what Darius brings to our team. But man, 30 punts, he's number 1 in the country in putting that ball inside the 20, which is a weapon. Between him and Darius, we're able to at least make people earn the drives. You know what I mean? And you saw last week when Darius unfortunately fumbled the one, you give him short field, it's hard to stop anybody. You know, but when you make him earn it, it's hard to go 80 yards, 80 plus yards in his case. So he makes our team much better.
When the season began, you looked at your schedule, you knew that you had these 2 road games.
Yeah.
Where are you compared to where you thought you'd be?
Pretty close. I mean, I obviously I wish we had more wins, to be honest with you. I'm still the Central game and the Akron game. I knew we'd have a couple games where it's Division I college football, so it's not going to ever lay out where you can just check them off like high school, where you're going to be done in the second quarter with most of them. So you knew you're gonna slip up once, maybe twice, and you wished it was only once. So that hurts. The biggest thing is being in it, like that. We need to get to those last 2 games with all we knew. Kind of, hey, we're going to start off tough. We're going to have to get them to know us and us to know them, and figure out who we are. And if we can do a good enough job of that, we can get into the last 2 weeks with a fighting chance. And so goal number 1 was accomplished. Was it as pretty as I wanted it? Heck no. You know, heck no. And our team's not happy with those games either. But we're in the middle of a fight that we actually have some stake in, you know. And so I'm happy with we got to these last 2 games. They mean something, and now let's see what we can go do.
It's a great group of guys. It's been a lot of fun these last 4 years, and I feel like, you know, being away from football for 10 years, obviously it took a couple years to get back to getting the football mindset, but it's, you know, it all translates. Competitive sports, just being positive, trying to encourage these guys who are young, some 18, 19-year-olds, and just trying to get them to think about all the good things that can happen when you just work hard and show up every day. So.
Coach talked about you're number 1 in the nation in punts inside the 20, and there's been several games where you had punts inside the 6. I know, you know, one after the other. What do you? I mean, you obviously practice those kicks, but a lot of them it seems like you're able to, like a golf shot, kind of spin it back. Can you talk about what that does? And also being a left footer, if you will, that seems to present a lot of problems for.
Yeah, the golf game's gotten good the last couple of years, so I've figured out how to get that backspin just right. No, you know, when we get out there as a special teams unit, our message is 1 play and out, and we go as hard as we can for that 1 play. And my job, the job that I'm trying to do, is pin their offense as deep as I can into their territory, so that our defense can go to work and try to get 3 and out. So that's my whole mindset going in, and I've got a lot of good guys that hustle their butts down there and make plays for me too. So that's a huge part of it. But
what a lot of times you're kicking rugby style, and sometimes it's the traditional 1, 2, 3, and get some height. You know, when do you make that decision? Is that decision made for you, or?
yeah, we talk about it on the sideline. I think as we get into different parts of the field, you know, closer we are to our own end zone, we're going to try to drive it a little bit and take some air out of it as we work towards the middle of the field, try to put some more air under it, and possibly start thinking about, you know, the sky kick, the end over end. So it just depends on, you know, the situation, and then having to follow through with that situation. Sometimes, you know, the weather, it makes it tough, and you might get one that slides off slides off your foot the wrong way, and you're just hoping that the guys react good enough and can make it all right. So.
Go back to your baseball career. At what point kind of did you decide, like, I'm going to give this college football thing a shot? And did you see yourself as a punter? Had you continued taking the ball much?
As a competitor, you know, 10 years, the whole 10 years through baseball, I'd come back every off season and think, man, I wonder what it would have been like to go pursue a football career. And I see these guys playing in the fall, and just brings back those Friday nights in high school and playing football and being around the guys. So I don't think that those thoughts ever left me. I think the reality though, when I finally got released from the Braves in July was, now am I too old to actually go back, or can we still make this a go? And so that's when I decided to walk on. I think, what was it, in 2014, and so here we are today. It's been a heck of a ride. So.
Did you see yourself as a punter and a specialist just all the way? Maybe?
Again, as a competitor, I feel like I can do it all. Obviously, that's not the case. But I went into the tryouts, telling them that I could quarterback or kick, and ended up making the team as a quarterback. And I'm thinking, here we go. And until I saw who was up there, Zach Terrell, and how well he was doing, and I said, "You guys sure you don't want to check out my leg?" And so that's kind of where we went from there. And yeah, so.
Yeah, I see you, warming up and stuff, and you're a pretty limber guy. I mean, 30 years old. I mean, for me, like, you get up out of bed and you're cracking.
Hey, that's for me too. So don't let it fool you. Yeah.
Is it harder? I mean, now it's just being an athlete, having gone through 10 years of baseball and to do the kind of things you do. Yeah, just a lot of wear and tear. 10 years. A lot of people think, oh, baseball's not that tough on an athlete, but it's every day. Once the season starts, it's 6 months straight of baseball, and you're on your feet a lot. Yeah, you might not be getting hit, stuff like that, but there's a lot of wear and tear. And so when we're doing sprints at the end of practice, I feel it just a little bit. Or like you said, when you wake up the next day, you're a little sore, wondering, man, how are those young guys feeling right now, or is it just me? But I no complaints. It's all part of the job, and it's been a blast. So. And congrats on getting married too. How's married life changed you at all?
Married life, it's great. Luckily she supports a 30-year-old husband going to school and playing football and not making any money. So all the stress is on her right now to make those big mortgage payments, but. Soon enough, I'll be able to help out a little bit. But she's been great about it. So.
Derek, you have kind of a unique role in that you're the punter, the kicker, and the holder. The last couple of years, you've had freshman kickers to work with. Can you talk about the special challenges that presents for a kid just coming off of the yellow bus, and with that?
Yeah, it's tough. As a young kid, you don't really, in high school, you don't really break, your confidence doesn't ever break, you know what I mean? Everything goes well in high school, and then you get on the big stage, and all of a sudden you hit some speed bumps, and you got to learn how to work through it and stay positive with yourself, and just do everything you can to keep moving forward and put yourself in the best situation going into that next week. But you can't look back, and so that's a message that I've been trying to get, that I gave to Butch a little bit last year, and now Josh. There's going to be times that it gets tough, and you just got to continue to work hard. Great things will happen. So.
That being said, you work with him every day in practice. Talk about what kind of talent he really has.
He's a great kicker. When he first came in, I'm thinking, man, this. You see some of these kickers that they get the ball up high fast and just great rotation, and so he's got a ton of potential, and I can't wait to see where he's at in 4 years. He's going to be a really good kicker, and like I said, it's just been a couple tough game-winning field goals that they haven't gone our way, but you know what? That's all right. You learn from it, and you move on, and you go get the next one. So.